What happens when an undercover CEO witnesses one of his own employees turning away a poor-looking woman, only to uncover a shocking truth that changes everything? The warm morning breeze carried the scent of fresh fruit and citrus as Ethan Caldwell, CEO of Pure Blend Juice Co., parked his car a few blocks from one of his smaller locations. The juice bar was one of the first shops he'd opened, a passion project that had grown into a thriving chain. Ethan prided himself on promoting kindness, community, and ensuring every customer felt welcome, no matter their background. But lately, things hadn't felt right. Complaints had surfaced about rude staff, neglected customers, and a lack of care for people who didn't look the part. Ethan refused to believe that was happening in one of his stores. He had built Pure Blend to be different, a place where people felt at home. Today, Ethan wasn't arriving as the CEO. Dressed in an old jacket, worn jeans and sneakers, he blended in as just another customer. He wanted to see things for himself. The bright green Pure Blend logo greeted Ethan as he stepped inside. The scent of fresh fruit filled the air, and employees moved behind the counter blending smoothies and chatting. The atmosphere seemed cheerful at first, but something still felt off. Ethan grabbed a menu and stood near the corner, quietly observing. A young employee, Tasha, stood near the counter, mid-20s, with her hair tied back in a neat ponytail. She moved with confidence, but her smile seemed forced. Nearby, an older employee, Carlos, was mopping the floor. He looked tired, but when a customer thanked him, Carlos nodded with a warm smile. Moments later, the door jingled as a woman entered. She appeared to be in her late 40s, wearing faded clothes and scuffed shoes. Her tired eyes and cautious movements suggested someone who had been through hard times. The woman stepped quietly to the counter. "Excuse me," she said softly. "Could I just get some water?" Tasha barely looked up. "Water's for paying customers only." "Oh," the woman said, clearly embarrassed. I just need a moment to sit. It's hot outside." "Look," Tasha said coldly, "we're not running a shelter here. If you're not buying anything, you should go." The woman's face reddened. "Please," she whispered. I said no." Tasha's voice was sharp now. "I don't have time for this." Carlos looked up from his mop bucket, clearly uncomfortable, but unsure what to say. Customers nearby glanced awkwardly at the scene unfolding. The woman turned, her shoulders slumping. Her eyes welled up as she slowly made her way toward the door. "Wait," Ethan called out. The woman stopped, turning back with a hesitant expression. "Come sit down," Ethan said gently. "I'll get you something." "Sir, you don't have to," the woman said quietly. "I know," Ethan smiled, "but I want to." She nodded gratefully and found a corner table. Ethan walked to the counter. Tasha's expression was tight as she grabbed a cup. "You really want to waste your money on her," she muttered. "I don't consider helping someone a waste," Ethan said firmly. "Get her a smoothie and make it fresh." "Whatever," Tasha muttered, under her breath, blending a drink with lazy movements. Carlos, still cleaning nearby, whispered, "Thank you for doing that. Why didn't you say something?" Ethan asked quietly. Carlos sighed. "I've tried before. Tasha's been acting like this for weeks, turning away anyone who doesn't fit the vibe. Management never listens when I speak up." "Well," Ethan said grimly, "they're about to." Once Tasha handed over the drink, Ethan carried it to the table where the woman sat. She smiled faintly. "Thank you. You didn't have to do this." "It's no trouble," Ethan assured her. "I'm Ethan. What's your name?" "Linda," she said quietly. I've been having a hard time lately. Lost my job a few months back. Savings are gone." She glanced down. "I hate asking for help, but—" "You don't have to explain," Ethan said. "Everyone needs a hand sometimes." "I used to come here," Linda added. Back when things were better. This place was different then. Kind. Her voice cracked. Guess I didn't belong anymore. Ethan clenched his jaw. Not anymore, he thought. Not after today. As Linda finished her drink, Ethan promised her she was always welcome at Pure Blend. Next time, Ethan said softly, you won't need to ask for water. After Linda left, Ethan walked back to the counter. Hey, Tasha, he said, casually. Could you grab your manager for me? Pfft, Tasha scoffed. I doubt he'll care. I wouldn't be so sure, Ethan said with a tight smile. Because I am the CEO, and I care. Tasha's face drained of color. Wait, you're... That's right, Ethan said. Tomorrow, we're going to have a long conversation about what it means to treat people with respect. Carlos, overhearing the conversation, chuckled under his breath. Looks like you've got some learning to do, Tasha. Yeah, Ethan added. And I'll be here to make sure you do. As Ethan walked toward the door, he felt the tension leave his shoulders. Tomorrow, things would be different. Because this wasn't just about a juice bar. It was about dignity, compassion, and doing what's right. The morning after Ethan's visit to the Pure Blend Juice Co. location, the air inside, the store felt tense. Word had spread quickly. The CEO had been undercover, and Tasha's cold treatment of a struggling woman had put her job on the line. Tasha stood near the counter, pacing nervously. When the door opened, her shoulders tensed, and sure enough, Ethan Caldwell walked in, no longer in his casual disguise. Dressed in his signature blazer and sharp shoes, Ethan's presence demanded attention. Morning, Ethan said flatly. We need to talk. In the small break room, Tasha sat stiffly across. From Ethan, Carlos stood quietly near the door, arms crossed. I'm not going to drag this out, Ethan began. I saw what happened yesterday, and I need to understand why you treated that woman the way you did. I was just following store policy, Tasha said defensively. We're not supposed to give out free stuff. Water isn't free stuff, Ethan shot back, and kindness isn't against company policy. Look, Tasha huffed, I know what I'm doing. That lady wasn't going to spend anything. She didn't belong here. We get all kinds of people coming in, trying to hang out without buying anything. If we keep letting that happen, this place will get overrun. So you're saying you decide who belongs here? Ethan asked coldly. I'm saying I was protecting the store, Tasha muttered. I'm good at my job. Our sales numbers are higher than ever. Sales aren't the only thing that matters, Ethan said firmly. I built Pure Blend to be a place where everyone feels welcome, rich or poor, dressed up or dressed down. And yesterday, you failed at that. I didn't mean to, Tasha started, but Ethan cut her off. I don't care what you meant to do. I care about what you did, Ethan said. That woman didn't just walk out thirsty. She walked out feeling humiliated. Tasha's face flushed red. So, what happens now? I should fire you, Ethan said bluntly. But instead, I'm giving you a chance, one chance, to prove you belong here. I can do better, Tasha said quietly. I swear. Then you're going to start by learning what this place is really about, Ethan said. Carlos, you're going to train her. She's going to follow your lead, and she's going to learn how to treat customers the right way. Carlos's eyebrows shot up in surprise, but he grinned. I think I can handle that. Over the next few days, Tasha followed Carlos like a shadow. She watched him greet customers warmly, chat with regulars, and even give free samples to first-time visitors. Why waste time on people who aren't going to buy? Tasha whispered one afternoon. Carlos smiled knowingly, because sometimes those browsers turn into loyal customers. And even when they don't, treating people kindly, it's just the right thing to do. Slowly, Tasha's behavior began to change. She started remembering customers' names, asking about their day and showing patience, even with those who didn't seem like big spenders. One afternoon, a group of teenagers came in, loud, messy, and clearly just looking to hang out. Tasha's first instinct was to ask them to leave, but instead, she followed Carlos's example. She greeted them with a smile and offered a small sample tray. To her surprise, one of the teens bought a smoothie, then another. By the time they left, they'd spent nearly $30. Told you, Carlos said with a grin. Yeah, Tasha muttered. I'm starting to get it. Despite her progress, Tasha couldn't shake the guilt about how she had treated Linda, the woman she'd turned away. I need to find her, Tasha told Carlos one morning. I need to make it right. That's a good idea, Carlos agreed, but I think I know someone who's already working on that. Meanwhile, Ethan had been busy. After tracking down Linda through a mutual connection, he learned that her struggles ran deeper than he realized. Not only had she lost her job, but her home was at risk too, and she was battling medical bills she couldn't afford. We're not just giving her an apology, Ethan told his team. We're giving her a fresh start. He contacted one of his corporate partners, a local hiring agency, and arranged an interview for Linda. Additionally, Ethan quietly reached out to a property owner he knew and secured an affordable apartment for her. She's going to know that she's valued, Ethan promised. The next morning, Ethan invited Linda back to Pure Blend. This time, she was greeted with warmth. Linda, Tasha said nervously, stepping forward. I'm sorry. I treated you badly, and you didn't deserve that. Linda smiled faintly. I appreciate that. I'd like to make it up to you, Tasha added. Your next few visits, drinks are on me. And on me too, Carlos chimed in. Linda chuckled softly. I guess I'll be pretty hydrated then. One more thing, Ethan said, stepping forward. I heard you were looking for work. I've set up an interview for you with a friend of mine. If you're interested. He handed her a business card. Linda's face lit up. I don't know what to say. You don't have to say anything, Ethan said. Just know that you're always welcome here, no matter what. That afternoon, Linda returned with her son, a shy boy no older than 10. The two of them sat in the corner, laughing over their smoothies. Tasha smiled as she prepared their drinks, this time grateful for the chance to serve them. Looks like you're learning, Carlos teased. Yeah, Tasha said quietly. I think I finally get what this place is all about. The days following Linda's visit marked a noticeable change at Pure Blend Juice Co. The atmosphere felt lighter, warmer. Customers were greeted with genuine smiles, and employees seemed to take more pride in their work. But for Tasha, change wasn't easy. While she had improved, she still struggled to break old habits, especially when things got busy. One Friday afternoon, the lunch rush hit hard. Orders piled up, customers filled the lobby, and Tasha felt her patience slipping. An older man, in a worn jacket, approached the counter, hesitating as he read the menu. I'm still deciding, the man mumbled nervously. Well, let me know when you're ready, Tasha said quickly, turning away to serve the next person. Moments later, Tasha noticed the man quietly leave, without ordering anything. You just turned him away, Carlos said, stepping beside her. I didn't mean to, Tasha muttered. He was just taking too long. No, Carlos said firmly. You assumed he wasn't worth your time. Remember Linda? You can't keep picking and choosing who matters. Tasha's face fell. You're right, she said softly. I messed up again. That evening, Tasha asked Ethan if she could speak with him. I need your help, Tasha said. There was this man earlier. I think I pushed him away like I did with Linda. If you know how to find him, I want to fix it. I admire that, Ethan said with a smile. And I think I know where to start. The following day, Ethan and Tasha visited a small homeless shelter a few blocks away, one that Linda had mentioned she occasionally stayed at during hard times. Sure enough, the older man from the juice bar, Mr. Thompson, was there, sitting quietly in a corner. Tasha's nerves twisted in her stomach, but she knew this was something she had to do. Excuse me, Tasha said softly, approaching him. I'm from Pure Blend, I just wanted to say I'm sorry for how I treated you yesterday. It's all right, Mr. Thompson said. I get it. No, Tasha insisted. It's not all right. You deserved better. And I'd really like to make it up to you. Can you come back to the store? Drinks are on me. Mr. Thompson smiled faintly. I think I'd like that. Later that afternoon, Tasha greeted Mr. Thompson warmly when he walked into Pure Blend. She not only served him a smoothie, but took the time to sit with him, learning about his life. People always just walk past me, Mr. Thompson said quietly. Feels good to have someone actually listen. I'm glad you came back, Tasha said sincerely. I'm still learning, but I'm trying. Meanwhile, things were improving for Linda as well. Thanks to the interview Ethan had arranged, she landed a stable job at a local supply company. With steady income and her new apartment secured, Linda's life was finally turning around. One afternoon, Linda stopped by Pure Blend with her son, Nathan, to thank Ethan personally. I can't tell you how much this means to us, Linda said. You didn't just give me a drink that day. You gave me hope. I didn't do it alone, Ethan said, motioning to Tasha and Carlos nearby. This place runs on good people, and I'm just glad you're part of it now. A week later, Ethan gathered the staff for a meeting. I know this place had its struggles, Ethan began. But thanks to the hard work you've all put in, I'm proud to say this is the kind of place I always wanted Pure Blend to be. Welcoming, kind, and community-driven. He smiled at Tasha. And I want to especially thank Tasha for showing us that mistakes don't define us. What matters is how we make things right. The staff clapped, and Tasha grinned shyly. Moving forward, Ethan added, we'll be starting something new, a kindness fund. Customers who'd like to help can contribute to it, and anyone in need can use it. No questions asked. No one should ever leave here feeling forgotten. The staff murmured in agreement, clearly proud of the new direction. That evening, Tasha stood beside Carlos at the counter as the final customers left. You know, Carlos said, you're not bad at this after all. Thanks, Tasha smiled. I'm learning. We all are, Carlos chuckled. As Tasha looked out the window, she spotted Linda walking down the street with her son, both smiling, both hopeful. Tasha knew she still had more to prove, but in that moment, she felt something new. Pride. The following weeks marked a remarkable transformation at Pure Blend Juice Co. The staff, once tense and uncertain, now greeted every customer with warmth. The Kindness Fund became a success. Regular customers eagerly contributed, and those in need were able to enjoy a meal or drink without hesitation. But Ethan knew that lasting change wasn't just about policies. It was about people, and one person, in particular, still had something to prove. Tasha had come a long way. Her attitude had improved, and she had begun building trust with both customers and co-workers. But Ethan knew her true growth would be tested when she faced a moment of real pressure. That moment came one Friday evening, just before closing. The store was busy. A rush of orders left Tasha juggling drink prep and counter service. Carlos was on break, and Tasha found herself overwhelmed. Then, the door jingled, and in walked Angela, a young mother with 2 kids in tow. Angela's clothes were worn, her tired eyes suggesting she had faced more struggles than most. Excuse me, Angela said softly, approaching the counter. I was hoping to use the Kindness Fund. Tasha froze. The kids were restless, tugging at their mother's sleeves, their eyes drawn to the bright fruit displays. I just need something small, Angela added. For them. Behind Tasha, a line of customers waited impatiently. Someone muttered, Great, now we're going to be stuck waiting. Another sighed loudly. Tasha's old instincts flared. Rush the woman out to keep things moving. But then she remembered Linda, and Mr. Thompson, and Ethan's words about compassion. Tasha took a breath. You know what? She said with a smile. Forget the Kindness Fund. This one's on me. Angela's face lit up. Oh, thank you, she whispered. No problem, Tasha said warmly. Take a seat. I'll bring everything to you. Tasha quickly prepared 2 smoothies and a small snack plate for the kids, setting the tray on Angela's table with a smile. The children grinned excitedly, diving into their fruit cups. You've made their day, Angela said softly. And mine too. Glad I could help, Tasha replied. And for the first time, she genuinely meant it. The next morning, Ethan called a staff meeting. Employees gathered, some curious, some worried. I've been watching how things have changed these past few weeks, Ethan began. And I couldn't be prouder of what this place has become. He paused, then smiled at Tasha. But one person in particular has impressed me the most. Tasha's eyes widened. Tasha, Ethan continued, when I first met you, I saw someone who believed the wrong things about what success looks like. But yesterday, you proved you understand what matters most, treating people with kindness, no matter their situation. The Marte, staff clapped, and Carlos nudged her with a grin. From now on, Ethan added, I'd like you to step into a leadership role, as assistant manager. Me, Tasha stammered, but I don't know if I'm ready for that. You are, Ethan assured her, because you've shown that leadership isn't just about being in charge. It's about doing what's right, even when it's hard. Tasha's face glowed with pride. Thank you, she said. I won't let you down. A few days later, Linda returned to Pure Blend, but this time, she wasn't just a customer. With her new job secured and her life stabilizing, Linda had come back with an offer. I know you've been working on the Kindness Fund, Linda said to Ethan. If you're willing, I'd love to help run it. Maybe organize some donations or connect with local shelters. I think that's a great idea, Ethan said with a smile. And I know you'll do amazing. Linda's eyes brightened. I'm just glad to be able to give back, like you gave to me. The next weekend, Pure Blend held a Community Appreciation Day, an idea sparked by Linda and supported by Tasha and Carlos. Customers poured in, enjoying free samples and live music. The Kindness Fund display overflowed with donations, and several customers left messages on a board titled Moments of Kindness. Linda stood by the display, watching as Angela and her children added a note to the wall. It read, Thank you for reminding me that good people are still out there. Nearby, Ethan stood quietly beside Tasha and Carlos. This place feels different now, Carlos said with pride. It feels right, Tasha added. It does, Ethan agreed, and that's because of all of you. As laughter and conversation filled the air, Ethan knew Pure Blend had finally become what he had always envisioned. A place where kindness mattered as much as the drinks they served. If this story touched your heart, don't forget to like, share, and subscribe, because small acts of kindness can make the biggest difference.